So, I guess I can go ahead and get us started for today. So, hello and welcome to ClovenCast, the podcast show where we have no intro. We're your hosts. Would the hosts like to introduce themselves?
Crap. Hi, I'm Maple. Nice to meet you.
I'm Animechristy, aka Christy, aka that one over there.
Hi, I'm Springheart. Oh!
Oh no.
Spring, go to the corner.
Hi, I'm Spirit. I'm the one
corner
running
in this server. It's in the Ramcon one. I can't get to it right now.
Guys, let me introduce myself, dang it. I'm the not a blue deer person anymore. Yes. Okay. So, centering in, getting business time. Yeah, business time.
I don't have my tie.
You don't need a tie for this business. This is like... Well, I'm wearing PJs for this podcast, so you know how businessy we're about to get, but, So, today we're doing the, Ramcon 2.0, or Ramcon The Blue Screen Waltz charity stream, where we're going to be critiquing OCs live on stream. So, the way that this works is that, anyone who donates $5 and includes the link to their character in their donation will have their character critiqued on stream. Everyone gets 5 minutes, and the proceeds are going to Feeding America. So what we currently have is that we're going to have the, I got a little timer here on my phone, and I'm going to use that to keep track of it. And everyone on all the hosts get to take a turn saying a little bit about it, and then after that, we move on to the next person. So, to determine who's going to go first this fine... I think it's Saturday, right? We're on Saturday? Okay. Would the hosts please roll initiative to determine who goes first?
Yay!
I got a 13.
Oh,
I got a 5.
I got a 3!
Damn it!
Damn, that means I'm going first.
Okay, so that's gonna be... Maple, Spirit, Christy, and then Spring. And I think we just got a donation. And it's Mestro. Thank you for the $20 donation.
Wow.
Thank you!
Wow.
Namaste.
So we're gonna go ahead. For those who aren't familiar, Rolling Initiative is a tabletop RPG thing that you find in like D&D and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead.
Pastel, can you DM me that on Discord, please?
Yes, Pastel Alpha, since you donated first. Just a note for everyone else currently watching the stream, if you're wanting to have your characters submitted in, there's a little donate widget underneath the stream. You'll see it. It's got the ClovenCast logo with the words donate. Click on that and you'll be taken to the Streamlabs, and then include a link to your character's sheet, because if you don't include the link, then we can't critique you.
We will also be cutting off like 30 minutes before the show for the sake of timeliness.
Yeah, because 2 of us are Ramcon staff, and we have to be back in work mode by 5 at the latest, so that we can get ready for closing ceremonies. So Spring, when you have Pastel Alpha's thingy, can you just drop it in the recording room? No mic.
You betcha. Oh, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. I'm now loading it.
And our current goal is $500. If we can overshoot that, that would be great. And hopefully we won't go over too much. Cluttercolf? Yeah, Cluttercolf donated $5. Thank you, Clutter.
Thank you.
Roast away. Oh, we will.
Okay, so I'm gonna
copy.
We're gonna copy the image. If I can right click, I'm gonna have to download it.
Pastel's character is half leopard, half Mexican wolf, for context.
Okay. Oh no, it's the wrong kind of file. Okay.
Oh, Menstro gave us pats on head.
Okay, give me 2 seconds to set up the thingies. So just a reminder to the hosts. So we're going to have 5 minutes total on each character. So take a look, make your points, and then pass it off to the next person. Maple, are you ready?
Maybe.
Okay. So we're starting. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Go.
Okay. Well, Spring, what did you say this character was supposed to be again? Like what species?
They are half leopard and half
Okay.
Mexican wolf.
Well, I don't know what a Mexican wolf looks like, but I'm liking the leopard markings. I guess I honestly think this is a solid design. I think the pastel kind of color palette works. I can't say that I see anything too wrong going on with it. I'm sure that other people will find something though and have a bit more to say in that regard. I guess the only thing I guess I would say that I have it's more with the artwork, but more just so defining like if the tail is fluffy or not, because I'm not sure if say it's like, oh well, is it aquatic or is it supposed to be like just a little more definition of the tail, but that's more of a art thing, not so much a character design thing. So yeah, that's I guess that's all I really have to say about the design, and overall I think it's really cute and I love it.
I think that puts me next, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay, so the main thing that I'm looking at, and I'm mostly just curious about it. So I've got the original one on the top, and I've got the other one on the bottom. So this is, for a little bit of reference, I attend Savannah College of Art and Design, and I've taken some color theory courses, and I'm really digging the colors on this character. But one of the things that we did learn is that the core element of creating a balanced character is to have a selective triad. So usually on these streams I tend to experiment a little bit with how I would distribute the colors myself. And overall it's a very good color palette, but you want to limit yourself to a limit of 3 to 4 colors with various tints and tones. So if I'm pulling here from the colors, if I were to make the selected triad, I would go with the blue, the yellow, and then this pink. And then this darker pink technically counts as a shade of this pink. It's a little bit warmer, but you can kind of get away with it since it's of the same warm variety. So ultimately, it doesn't play too much difference, but you can kind of just see how the warmer color will draw the eye to the face a little bit more since it's a little bit darker. But other than that, I think it's a really solid character design. And whoever's next.
That would be me. Okay, so a couple of things, mostly involving the coloring. One of the weird things that I'm kind of having trouble with is with the tail, aside from the lack of I can't tell if it's fluffy or aquatic, mostly based on the color, but the leopard spots, I feel like they need to have a different value to them, because it's a very light, subtle pink, but it also blends in with the blue somehow for me. Also, I don't understand the yellow nose. And mostly because I only see yellow in the nose and maybe the eyes.
So kind of
That's all I really gotta say.
Maybe something like that.
Well, aside from that big blob of red, but yeah.
Or maybe that's the same color, so yeah.
Something to show the spots a little more, because they're a little too subtle.
You're too
in
close
terms
in
of value.
Yeah. Spring, I think that's your cue.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that Christy was done talking. Cool. So Pastel, I know this is your logo character, so I understand why the tail does that sweep, because then inside there is all your text. I love me a good old pastel character. Look at those colors, nice, soft, lovely. The thing that I would that gets lost is the print, the leopard print, which I guess is not necessarily a bad thing, but if you want them to pop, they don't. So yeah, I guess going off of the last point is, maybe play with the gradient a bit, just so that they pop a bit more. But other
Maybe
than
something
that,
else. Maybe something else you could do with the
That's the
spots
timer.
though is like we're just putting a little bit of an outline on it, but just like subtle, slight outlines. Like I've seen that before, but
More
sorry,
just an
I
issue of
cut you off
clarity.
there. But
Very good quality design, though, I think. Do you guys agree?
yeah. So I had a quick thingy. Spirit, do you want to go at the end because I know you doodle? It takes you a while to get the doodles in.
Yeah, do you want to, you can move up and I'll be at the end.
Yeah, I'll switch with you.
Okay, so you'll be
Wow,
after
we
me.
got a lot of donations.
I know, I'm working on it, guys, I promise. So we'll go ahead. Just to have an alternative one. This one's gonna be tricky, but I'll go ahead. I'm bringing up the timer now. 3, 2, 1, start.
well, I guess the only thing I would have to say about this this character is to maybe get tone down the purple pinks on the body, not so much the face, because this is a primogen, I think they're called, or something like that. Along with like the screen face, right, where it's supposed to be neon, but I think it I don't know, it's too poppy, if that makes sense. Like the purple magenta is the color I'm looking for on the body, so maybe just bringing down the neon and the contrast on that, I feel like would work, and especially in the ear, I would say. If maybe, yeah, but other than that, like design wise, I say it's fine. Just again, the colors is where it's a little off, but it's just the magenta there that I'm really seeing. Yeah, that's about all I have to say. All right, design, in my opinion. Christy?
Alrighty. Spy, I'm gonna need you for all these pictures to post them in no mic, because you zoom in and out is I can't
Let me put it in the no mic.
critique. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
So, for this sweet, fluffy character, we start with something nice. Oh my gosh. Okay, those neon pink lines, those look like socks. It looks like you have socks on your little legs and your little hand hoofs. Words escape me of what those actually are. Apologize now, but I absolutely love it. And I don't care that these are neon colors, okay? I actually freaking love this design. It is I don't have anything bad to say about this. Actually, now that I think about it and I'm looking at it full screen, I love it. Like 10 out of 10. Look at that fluff on that bottom. 10 out of 10. If I really had to think of anything, maybe the little neon pink on the tail, maybe change that a little bit. That's it. That's all I got. I love it. Next.
I can't tell what the order is anymore because we just skipped
You're
right
the same
into
spot.
end.
You are the same spot. You are third.
Who's going?
It's your
You.
turn.
You're
Okay.
third in line.
All right, so I'm kind of in agreement with Maple over like the colors of the vibrant purplish pink. I've never personally been a fan of that color, but maybe I'd at least adjust it like in everywhere but the face, since yeah, that's supposed to be a neon. I feel like we've done a character similar to like this concept before. Is this like a species I'm not aware of?
Yeah,
Where
they're called primogens. They have the screen face and stuff there. I don't remember where they started to pop up, but yes, they are a species that have popped up.
okay, I was wondering about that because it just seems so familiar. Oh my god. Sorry, I just saw the chat or the stream and oh my god. I got nothing to say.
Duel. Legend.
$100 donation. Jeez.
Yeah.
Dang it. Oh, Frank, I'm missing on the name, but whomsoever you were.
I guess, does that make it my turn?
Oh, Protogen. Sorry, thank you. But anyway, as you were saying, Christy. Unless
I
it's
don't have much to say. I'm kind of thrown off by the turn order because I was supposed to go before spring.
Okay, I've listed. I put it in general. It's in general.
Okay.
You're third in the order. You haven't changed your spot.
Oh, I thought spirit. Never mind.
With that said, is it Spirit's turn now?
Yeah, I got 30 seconds on the timer. Luckily, I don't have a whole lot to say. Most of the stuff that I would say, they're not too big. They're mostly just minor color adjustments. So I did a little bit of a different tone of the turquoise, and I took down the luminosity of the magenta, with the exception of the eyes. So that's all I have to say. Just an idea, but yeah. That's gonna go ahead. That's gonna be the timer. So we'll go ahead.
Sorry, Christy. I just wanted Spirit to be able to do her doodles and not have to rush through them.
I got so confused though because the initial turn order was like Maple, Spirit, me, and then you.
We just switched the S's around.
I just got super thrown off.
Alright.
Okay, so
Next. I think I'm dropping into no mic.
Yes, please.
yes, I'm working on it. I'm running like 5 things, guys. I'm sorry. For reference to the chat, we're in a different server right now. We have a podcast-based server that we operate on. So anything that you post on the Ramcon server, we will not see right now.
Yep.
Are you posting?
So we'll go ahead. Let me pull up the timer. Okay. Maple, you ready?
Sure.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, I'm guessing this is like a werewolf bat kind of character going on here. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the hands. This will sound probably incredibly insulting, but I'm getting like Freddy Krueger vibes from it, but the face is a bit too relaxed and calm to be like, so it's just a little conflicting on what like the character is like personality wise. And then I'm looking at the back there where the blue is in the ear, and I feel like that should be separated if you want to have the hair, and yeah, like have the ear, just instead of being blue, just have it be brown and part of the body, and the hair being its own separate entity. And I'm not sure if I would have like the wings be yellow. I'd maybe have it either a darker or a lighter shade of brown. The blue, I would think that's more of a subjective thing, but I'm not a fan of it. I think it's something that would be better as a lighter or darker brown, and just keep the blue in the eyes. But other than that, I think that's all I really have to say about the design going on here. So that would make it Spring's turn.
Yeah. All right. So clarification in the chat that it's just a bat.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my points would be the same. That the hair. I think. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a cool concept that you have, because the hair on the ear would be like short hair. It'd be going up the ear. That's a cool concept. But yeah, I would divide that and make it darker. Something I like about your character is, and it seems out of place because there's nothing around it, so you'd have to add some other markings in the same color or something closer to it, is that on the back there's like this little heart of a different color, and I think that's really sweet. So if you're gonna have little heart markings, you're gonna have to have them elsewhere. And I think you have them on the paws, but there's a small image, so and my eyes go to the face because of that different color. So that's what I got. Christy?
All right, so I'm on the fence over the blue hair, but I absolutely love the colors of like the shades of brown that are on the body. The blue hair especially has been throwing me off though. I think it's just about how bright it is compared to the normal like colors. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it just it throws me off over how bright it is compared to like the very muted, very earthy color tones. That's all I gotta say. Spirit?
Alright, so as you can see, I've been experimenting a little bit here in my off time with the colors. So my main thing, centering back to the color triad, try to limit yourself to as few colors as you can when it comes to this. So like I'm noticing, like here, let me pull up a magenta so that you guys can see. These three colors are very similar in hue and saturation, with only a few minor differences. And so finding those, especially if you're wanting to get a fursuit or some other costume or something like that, having that variety of colors will make it more difficult to match the colors. So the less colors that you have, the easier it will be for things to be matched. So what I would do is that I would either go with the pink or I would go with the gold. I wouldn't go with both of them when it comes to these little details here. And I think, as you can see, I experimented with the turquoise a little bit. Something that we learn when it comes to character design is the prospect of focal points. And a focal point is the place where you want the eye to be drawn to. So the focal point should always be the hair, like the face, and any other details which are important to the character. So in this case, the focal point is the head and the wings. And this is one other thing that I didn't notice here, is that if you're going to have, so I noticed there's these little rings on the arms. If you're going to have a feature like that, you want to have it a repeating feature which is evenly distributed throughout the body. And that's the timer. But yeah, generally just a sense of visual unity is what you really want to shoot for.
Thank you for submitting.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that we're low on time. We're just going to have a lot of people sending in, so Cosmo's up next. Pull it up. Oh, and it's gonna be some of my art.
Prepared to rip it apart.
I mean, I rip and tear into my own art all the time, like even the new stuff that I make. So, here you guys go. Let me pull up the timer.
Like a wolf deer.
Alright, Maple, you ready?
Sure.
Alright. 3, 2, 1.
Well, overall, I like the design. I like the character. I think it's mucho bueno. I don't really have too much that I would criticize about it. I mean, it's very like earthy and nice, and I like no complaints from me here, boss. So take it away, Spring.
All right. So we said something nice. I like the little dots around the lower half. That's a cool little fun feature on your character. I like that. That's cute. I do notice while staring at your character, the small icon that we have on Discord, the eye color, my eyes are not going to it. So changing the hue, like the color of the eyeball might help a little bit. But otherwise, this character, like I could see them in like Bambi or something. Like it's very earthy, like natural colors. So yeah,
Like a fantasy Bambi.
yeah, fancy Bambi.
All right, that makes it Chrissy's turn.
Look, I've got nothing to say about this.
Neat fluffy.
It's just a really solid design. I like the shades of brown. Like, they're so varied. Like, we got, like, a khaki kind of brown for, like, the hair and the, legs. We got like this soft, soft cocoa brown. Then you got the dark barkier antlers. Why did I say ears? I don't know. I really like this. I don't have anything bad to say.
Look at that smug look.
Then there's Spirit, who's going to be ripping into her own design if she can. Go ahead, Spirit.
Oh boy, don't you get me started, because I'm about to. Well, art problems aside, rip and tear until it's done, for my fight is eternal anyway. So, I don't have a whole lot of changes here, mostly because I was working, so I didn't actually design this character. I drew it as a commission, so it was a little bit of an artistic interpretation, operating by, so I did a little bit of interpretation on it when it came to how I was going to adapt it. So, one of the things that I started off doing is I wanted to balance a little bit, especially with the front paws. So, we've seen here, it's a little difficult to see, but there are back hooves. There we go. Mm-hmm. With the, there's little back hooves that are dark in color. So what I did is I made the toes the same color to add a little bit of a sense of, what would the term be? Symmetry? So that...
Sure.
So symmetry to really bring that balance so that it doesn't feel... Because originally these were the same color brown as the rest of it, which is okay. I am in agreement that the eyes didn't really pop out, so what I did is I created a color layer in Photoshop, and I colored them, I think, a cool color, or a different warm color. Like, even if I bring it over, let's try an amber. Yeah, that doesn't really stand out as much, so if it's a warm color, it's going to blend into the rest of the design, but either a cool blue, or a turquoise, or a green might really stand out in this situation. And I think another thing, too, is that the spots were originally only on the butt. So I've moved a few of the spots to the shoulders. And this is actually a thing to know about adult deer versus young deer. So a younger character will have spots on their back because that's something that deer have in their adolescence. But an adult will not have them. So... if the character is supposed to be fully matured, then they will not have the spots. But if they are young, then the spots will be there.
Fun fact.
Yeah. I wrote an entire book about deer and dragons. I kind of had to do my research. But, yeah, honestly, I think this is going to be the first one where we don't have a whole lot to say because there aren't a whole lot of issues. But ultimately, that's my input. Do you guys have any final thoughts?
Why are you sticking your bum up? What up?
Alright, we can move on.
Go to horny jail spring.
Choking on
No,
hair.
I can't find anything else. I'm just drawing at straws here.
Thank you for donating, Cosmo. You're fine.
Thank you, Cosmo.
Every time that I click on Streamlabs, it has to refresh itself. You guys are amazing, you know that?
10 out of 10.
Everybody. The cast and the people watching.
Chat.
Oh,
There we
yeah.
go. Thank you.
Y'all are awesome.
Eat.
Okay, I'm pulling it up now. Oh,
Yeah,
it's another one that I drew. Hello.
Wow, Spirit, just flexing around with us, aren't you?
Welcome to Ripping Apart Spirit's Art.
I'm gonna be extra harsh.
I mean, feel free.
Oh, no.
I'm my own worst critic, so nothing you can do will hurt me by comparison.
Not this one. I think this one.
That's true.
Here's the problem, though. I keep liking the stuff that you make. I must be biased or something.
It's all my fault. But I'll go
Especially
ahead.
biased towards the color palette, though.
I'm pulling up the timer, so let me just do. And 3, 2, 1.
Well, very mystical design, I will say that, and I like the general kind of flow and design, ignoring the sparkly, bright pink hair. Now, this is probably just a personal thing, but I am not a fan of just overly sparkly things in general, and when it comes to hair, and it's reminding me too much of sequins. And my head is like, how do sequins work in the hair? They're not pointy and they don't flow like I don't. But the horns, they give an aged feel to it, so I really enjoy that. I'm not sure if I would change too much when it comes to that. Maybe the sparkle, like the star signs over the body, I would maybe change to be more subtle. But really, I think, and then just granted, this is just more of when you're drawing the character, the pure black might not work all too well, but
It's actually a very dark purple.
Yeah, like a very dark purple that kind of gives the feeling of black, you know? That way it's easier to shade and work with when like an artist is actually drawing with it. But other than that, it's okay. It's okay. I am alright with it. Not my favorite, but that's just out of a personal thing.
All right. So, this dragon. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, the tail and the hair, I went and googled it because I couldn't remember what it's called. It reminds me of, it's called a pink whelping. Oh wow, my mouth, Pete. Why
Don't hurt yourself.
Whelping. Okay, I'm gonna stick that word. Please help. Send help.
Anyway.
No,
Yeah,
Mike, what is that?
Oh, weeping.
Thank you. Okay, I'm running on half a brain cell today, guys. I apologize. A pink whelping. Oh,
A weeping willow.
Cherry tree. Yes. Okay. That's what it reminds me of. That is exactly. It's. Mwah. Absolutely love it. Something I don't really like about it is the horn, like the, I don't know, like the horn twisties, and maybe like the eyeballs. I'm just mesmerized by the tail and the hair. That's all. Next, we're running out of time.
Okay, so piling on to like what Spirit said, I'm not a fan of the horns, but not because like the horns are bad themselves. I'm more, the color palette feels like it could be a little bit more limited because you got like these cool like blue violet colors kind of clashing with like a red violet. I am a huge fan of like that black on top of like the other colors, but I don't know. I feel like it needs to be a little bit more limited. There's too much color going on. Like maybe take away just the blue violet and the light hydrangea like violet. Like the sparkles on like the body, like that color works for me. It's just those two colors that feel like they need to be removed. That's all I got.
I think, so speaking as someone who designed this character, I was basically provided a very extensive color palette, and this is a reduced version of that palette to a certain extent. So, I think if I were to go back and retouch it, what I would do is I likely would either cut off the stars, like I would get rid of these little star markings here entirely. Mostly just because they draw away the face from a focal point, or at least, like, kind of, you can see how they're kind of, like, not becoming as apparent if I color over them. Kind of like that, like, have them be something that's a little less visible. I think I also would have, it's a bit of a difficult thing. I had to use, so, Gwen requested that I do it in, okay, timer shut up, I'm going to talk for 2 seconds.
Finish.
I had to use the spectral wings design theory with it, which is very complex and usually uses a base color, a highlight, and then a shade. So this is technically breaking those rules, but I think if I were to really do it, I probably would change the pink mane out for a bluish color.
Mm-hmm.
And then change the top saddle to be a little bit more of the darker magenta.
Mm.
It's a little bit of a difficult one because when you're working from text, it's a little hard. So, but that's my deal. So we'll go ahead and move on. Thank you for donating, Gwen.
Thank you. I love the
Yeah,
fact
what's
that
your
the
TED
mane
Talk?
looks like it's glowing.
I have many secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
You gonna share them?
Hey, Sloosh, I know you're going by a different name now, bro, but, so the drive file that you sent me is not working. Can you DM me a image of it on Discord, please? I'll make an exception for you since we know each other, so...
Well.
Can I get some awoos in the chat?
No!
Mm. Are the awoo police here?
Ooh.
The popo?
Ooh.
Awoos are illegal here.
Friggin' furries.
Oh, knows.
Listen, Spirit. You're running a convention for furries right now.
Hey, who, excuse me? What name did you use?
Spirit and Spring, I'm sorry, but Spirit's the one that's saying that it's illegal. And it's like,
Oh,
it's
okay.
a furry convention. What do you expect? There needs to be a woos.
Alright, thank you,
Yeah.
Slush. I know Google Drive's a pain in the tuchus. Hopefully it won't be a problem for anyone else tonight, so... Well, it's not even tonight. It's still the afternoon. But you...
No, look at the chat.
You good, bro. It all good. So I'm dropping it in the recording room.
Dogs, you're the best.
I'm just
What
gonna
did I
screenshot
miss?
this.
Oh, nothing. They're just filling me with power.
No,
Oh,
not
the
the
poo?
Poe's.
Oh no, where's? I have two high-eyed eyes.
Boo.
Okay, wasn't that good? I'm sorry.
Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start the timer. Maple, you ready?
Sure.
Alright, and go.
Alright, well, I am, like, with this one, I'm not really getting any sort of, like, specific animal, so it's just a general monster, is, I guess, what I'm picking up, which I will, if that's the case, I'll be a little bit more lenient with just, like, the body parts just being mashed together, and the only one I'd say is mashed together, really, is the chameleon tail, and, like, the dots in it are kind of giving me, like, is it, like, a gel sort of thing, like, kind of, or is it, like, with the like and like is it sort of the same material as the tongue, or is it like a slime sort of thing? So maybe just a little more clarity on that. And if anything, I would also maybe just change out the tail to be something more, and this might be just a personal preference thing, but just have it be more fluffy and just long, like maybe like a wolf tail or something, I don't know. But other than that, I think it's a really cute design, and I think it's really like pretty neat. Like this is something I think like I would see in Pokemon or something, and so I mean like 7.5 out of 10 from me with this design, basically. Spring.
Tropical soda. Last time you brought a creature that I was like, oh, this is cute, but also no. And once again, you hot doth provided me. So this lovely character. I love the color palette. I like the fluffiness, but I just the purple tongue and tail and the horns, they make me very uncomfortable. So I think it's mostly just the horns on the face part that, yeah, I know it's your brand. I love it to a T. I think going off of Maple, if you have the fluff around the face, if you added that, if you added, I don't believe, why am I saying add fluffy bum? There needs to be some transition into the tail part. So if you added like purple into the body, somehow, or black into the tail, so it's like a gradient transition, so that it doesn't feel like it's like a doll that you pop off the tail, because it seems like there's a disconnect right now. Christy.
Okay, so this is starting to kind of remind me of like King from like the Owl House, but that's probably where I'm getting like this association of demon from, because it's very uncanny, because it looks like something that would be super cute, but then it would open its mouth and then you're like, oh hell nah. I don't have anything bad to say about the color palette because I love purple. I don't know. I think most of us are at least on agreement with like the tail and the tongue. It's very uncanny and creepy, and in a way I kind of like it because of that, but
Yeah.
nothing else much. Spirit?
So I'm doing some thinking, and honestly, at this point, it's really hard to think up some stuff for like how to fix it, because Sloosh, you always bring good stuff to the table. Darn it, man! Just you make her job hard. So, I've mostly just been fiddling around. It's nothing that's really going to be too notable. So honestly, it's more of just a nitpick than anything. I think if I were to point a few things out, I would make the eyes a little bit more vibrant, as you can see. So make them a little bit more vibrant so that they stand out. I also experimented with making the claws dark, just so that the main focal point is the face. And having a little bit more of this, if I color drop it, this dark color distributed throughout the body would be good, so that there's a little bit more of a balance. I know it's going for kind of a bony, creepy feel to it, or at least uncanny. But with the others, having it around the tail and maybe somewhere else, like, or if not on there, maybe you could have it like on the little down here. And then that'll actually make the white stand out a little bit more, like the bony color. What do you guys think? And then have a little bit
I really like what you did there.
Have a little bit of a fade transition into there.
I like that you took the lighter purple dots and you put it into the bat wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing too. That is the timer. So overall, just a little bit more balance and you'll be good to go, bro. Pulling up the next one.
Thank you for donating.
We are not even a full hour in, and we are 40% of the way to our goal, guys. You the real MVP.
Y'all are amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna copy the image, drop it in the recording room. Then I'm gonna put it in here. Let me really quickly pull up the timer. Maple, you ready?
Sure.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Well, I mean, it gives me a cartoony. I can't remember that one cartoon.
American
Dragon.
Dragon.
I know exactly what cartoon this looks like, but I want to save it till later.
I don't know. But I'm sure everybody knows what cartoon I'm thinking of. But it's, I don't know. I think on the reference sheet and with the character, you got to decide on whether you want ears or not. I'm not sure if that's so much of should be an optional thing. I mean, I can see why, but I'm just somebody who just be decisive. You want ears or no, right? I see Spirit's already getting rid of the blue, and I'm kind of on the same page with that one. But other than that, I can't really point anything else out about it. So with that said, I will pass it off to Spring.
All right. Red Dragon. I like the general colors that you used for your red flame dragon female. She. I think my two things. I would change the way the end of the tail is shaped. Because right now it's just a big old triangle there of doom. Which it's again, this might just be, I might be dabbing into drawing style, which I'm not trying to do. It just you want it to be right, yeah. It just sticks out. It visually doesn't, at least for me, it doesn't quite. Anyways, and the eyes, I think too, need to change that color a tiny bit. Chrissy?
Okay, I'm going to apologize in advance because this is what this character reminds me of. He's cool, he's hot like the frozen sun. He's young and fast, he's the chosen one. People, we're not bragging. He's the American dragon.
Thank you.
It has so many,
have you not seen
it has
American
so many
Dragon Jake
American
Long?
Dragon vibes. That
No.
was the first thing that popped in my mind, and I am so sorry.
American Dragon.
I really
it has a very
design,
strong
though,
90s
aside from the
vibe.
jokes.
Oh, that,
I don't know,
yes.
it just has a really good, solid foundation with it. I don't have much to say other than it reminds me of Jake Long, and I love it.
I need to look up really quickly. I want to see what Jake Long looks like just to make sure I'm not duplicating
Oh,
him.
yeah. Jake Long, like the original, like season 1 Jake Long, the only main difference is that like he has like a green backing, and he doesn't have like the yellow like inside the wingspan.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know Jake's triad is green, red, and black. So, what I'm thinking, so there's two ways that we can go about it here, and here's what I would recommend. Is that you need to either choose between having the blue or having the brownish black. So you can't, like, I get that the hair is kind of drawing the eye to the face, but it throws off a bit of the color balance when it comes to things because you have all the other colors, they're very balanced, they're all evenly distributed, but then you just have this splash of blue and then green eyes. Now, granted, if you wanted to go with the route of blue, you could make them blue, but I think I would make the eyes blue as well. So I would make that blue, and I would make the claws blue. If you can kind of see as I go along.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you want to distribute your colors evenly, rather than having just one little section of something. And I get it, sometimes it's just like, I really want my character to have blue hair. But especially when it comes to designing something like this, that's just something you need to keep in mind. As for the ears, I actually draw my dragons with ears. I draw them, they're a little bit more elf-like, so they're pointed when I do them. But I think having the ears would actually be a good feature because the gold will actually help drawing the eye to the face. Mm-hmm. And this is another thing, too, that I will point out, is that if you're going to choose between the blue and the dark brown, the horns need to be a different color to help them stand out. So that's just something to keep in mind. But we are out of time. Thank you for submitting.
Thank you.
Go ahead and bring up next one. Aster Grimoire. Oh, it's a Mimi art.
Ooh.
For reference, Mimkage is one of our vendors this year, so if you guys haven't gone over to her channel, be sure to do that.
She's doing live art.
Your files are too powerful. Oh no.
Oh.
Bruh.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna
That's
do.
no good.
I'm gonna copy the link to the tweet and drop it in there since I'm getting it from Twitter. That way you guys can at least see it, and then I will copy the image.
Thank you.
And post it in here. And we'll scale it up a little bit. So, Maple, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
Well, first, that's like I'm getting Chimera vibes, and I dig it. I like Chimera sort of things going on in like the Living Tales. I know I went through a big phase with those. in my younger days. I guess the one thing I would immediately change off the bat is I wouldn't make the snake green. I would either make it a gray or like a gold color, just in that way it blends in easier and it doesn't it doesn't look like you just stuck a snake on this character's butt. And it just gives it a little bit more cohesion in that aspect. But other than that, I think it's a cute design, it's a cute character, and I don't hate it. I quite like it. So Spring?
All right. I absolutely love like the whole concept of this character. Like, it's so cute. The one thing I would change, because if I look real close, I can see what's going on. This is a hoodie, and that's a wing. So I would change the wing to be the same color, and then throw, like, if you want to throw like gold accents on it, that's fine. But it's blending in with the hoodie, and you can't see it, and that's a problem. When I first looked at this, I thought it was the hoodie. So that's what I would change.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Animechristy?
Fuck. I was about to say, it's like, I'm not sure about that snake, though. Like, the rest of the design works, it's just that snake that was kinda not working for me, but then you point out, oh yeah, just change the color to, gold, that works, and there's also, the matter of the hoodie. That also works. I got nothing! I got nothing to add on, and I feel bad.
I mean, you could talk about the horns.
Huh?
Okay.
Anyway.
I guess it's
Really
my turn.
cute. Like it.
Alright, Spirit's turn.
Hi, I'm drawing all over other people's art again. Is our people offended yet?
Probably.
I'm
Crazy.
sorry, guys. This is the only way that I can properly convey my ideas. But, so ultimately, I think the character's design and concept is really solid. But I am in agreement that there needs to be a little bit of balancing done to really get things right. So I think the first order of business that I would do is I would make the horns gold to match the hooves. And I would change the color of the wings to make them more visible, because one of the core principles that you learn in when you learn character design is that if there's an important detail that you can't see or it gets lost in the silhouette of the character, then the eye will not be drawn to it, and people will not be able to see that feature is there. Now, if you really wanted to, you could have it to where the wings have a little, like, thumb on them, and they hook around the body to make them into the cloak. So I don't know if you've ever watched Gargoyles, but they have it to where their wings wrap around their shoulders.
Yes.
And they lock like a cloak. You can negate the hoodie and have the wings do that if you want to keep them as black. But if you are going to make the wings black, I would recommend distributing the black color throughout the rest of the body. So for instance, if you were to keep the wings black, I would also make a bit of the hair black. And I would maybe add some black markings, like maybe on the ears. And maybe somewhere around the hooves. Maybe not on the hooves there, but you guys kind of get what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, it's ultimately just a matter of distribution. I'm also in agreement that the snake needs to either be a different color or the green needs to be more evenly distributed. I tried coloring the eyes green to see if that would work. It didn't really work out as I'd intended. So I would recommend a triad of black, white, and gold. And I'm guessing this is going somewhere along the lines of a demon. So, or something along that line. So if you're going to go with that route, especially if you want to go with the kind of fallen angel vibe, that's just something to consider. But ultimately,
it's based off of Kingdom Hearts Organization 13.
I'm not familiar with Kingdom Hearts, but I'll take your word for it. So,
yeah, I get it now.
But yeah, those are my ideas on how I would change it. Something that I will point out is that you guys can screen cap these. I know they're very rough, but you can use them for reference if this helps you. So feel free to screen cap. And that's the timer. Thank you for submitting and donating.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, it's more experiment. Yeah. Less demon. Thank you for the
I
clarification.
got an Imgur. Once it loads up. Don't make me do it. I cannot get Dual Thrones character to load up. Spring!
Oh my god!
How do you keep a straight face while you do that?
Okay. We'll go ahead. Dual, can you DM your character ref to me, please? So that we can review yours, because I don't want to skim over you.
Okay, guys, while we're waiting, and this has absolutely nothing to do with anything, but I'm just gonna drop this in pictures and stuff.
How dare you share content with your fellow friends?
It's cursed. Just gonna save that now. When it finishes uploading, it's cursed.
How's everyone doing in the chat? Are you having a good day?
Maple!
No,
Chris!
no. Go to anime jail.
Talking about husbandos this morning. Spring and I had a very
My face
polite
hurts
conversation about it.
You should never combine two anime figures. No.
Well, because this is the one where like you post on Twitter and Twitter will crop it to the specific point.
No!
And then open up the image, and then it's like, oh, like, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is.
I'm just
For
disappointed.
clarification in the chat, I'm going to do the PJ version. Fichita's head on an anime girl's body is the picture.
Yep.
Oh,
In
God,
a very
Maple, you're
not
right.
appropriate for children manner.
Go to anime jail.
Go to horny jail.
Oh god, my face. Help.
Okay, I got the DM from Duel, so I'm assuming this is the character that they want to have submitted. Yep, okay. So it's a big boy file, so I'm gonna have to scale it down.
Oh,
This is gonna be a hard one.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Big boy, big boy.
Dang.
Okay, let me post this in the chat for you guys so that you can see it in full. And I'll drop it in the recording room. Okay, I'm pulling up the timer. This one's gonna be hard.
Oh man.
Oh.
Maple, you ready?
Yeah.
Alright, 3, 2, 1.
Well, first of all, love the artwork, and I'm going to need to know who to follow because this is just scrumptious art.
Yeah.
I guess one thing I'm seeing right now that I would change is the green. I'm not digging the green skin. I personally think it clashes a bit too much and it gives more of an alien feel than pony. I would probably make it more of a white, or yeah, white seems to be the better color working out here. But other than that, like I think it's a solid design. It gives me like Final Fantasy vibes, and I'm here for that. So with that said, like again, only thing I'd change is the green skin. So that's it. Spring.
Yeah, I feel like looking at this character, we should be in an RPG. They would be in my party and throw in. It's probably a D&D character, but yeah, I think going off yeah, this is hard. Yeah, I also want to know who I need to follow because dang, look at that art. I think the only thing that's really you get the green. So the green, um, because of the way the green is, it takes away. It's hard to when the picture is smaller. It's hard to see the nose and the mouth because when I open the picture and make it larger, I can actually see that there's a bit of a smile there. So I would play around with the colors there a bit, and also eye color again. So Chrissy.
Okay, so regarding like the face and like the character overall, it feels like a weird cross between a pony, McCree from Overwatch, a D&D character, a Dragon Ball Z alien woman from like Brawly, and what was the last thing I was about to say? And maybe a bit of Final Fantasy on top of D&D. That green is definitely working against it. Like, everything else within the art is super solid. It's a muted, yet sort of minorly bright, like, reddish browns, and while I can see how green would contrast against, like, the rest of the body, the lime green is not the shade. Like, if it could be, like, a muted, bluish green, with like maybe like a lower it wasn't like so bright and vivid like this one is, then I could see it working. Spirit?
Yeah, I'm doing my best here. I think we're kind of all on the same road that the green is something that's really kicking this one here. So I'm working on green is a difficult color to work with in general. It's generally associated either with nature or sickness, and in this case, that shade of green is a sickness kind of green. It's associated with generally nausea, and kind of evokes that same feeling when you look at it, unfortunately. So
could we change the colors of the outfit? Would that make it better?
I'm trying to figure out how to do that. So it is a little bit of an issue of simultaneous contrast. So having the bright red with the bright green is certainly not helping. But I definitely think the source is the green itself, because green is far more of a perfect like detail color than anything. It's not really something that you want to use as an overall shade, with the exception of a few things. If you are using a natural color palette, like very tree, like a tree green, like a leaf green, rather than a, I suppose we can call this a worm green. So my recommendation would be to go with a colder green. And I would change the eyes. That's another thing, too, is that the eyes are very difficult to read because they're also the same color. So I would change the green to be cooler, and I would make the eyes silver, like the hair. And by doing that, you will help establish... Because if the green is absolutely necessary, I think I would also, if it were me... I would, just really quickly, I gotta make this point. I would make the, these gray. Like, make the brighter reds gray so that the green is not as standout. So, like, really quickly, I'm just gonna color over this. I didn't realize it till now because I wasn't really sure how to go about it, but I think if you add that additional triad, like, if you change that triad color...
There you go.
I'll zoom out. Then that'll do it. And if you, let me really quickly, I know we're going over time here, but this is something that's going to bother me because I want to see if this is something that... Yeah, this'll work.
Yeah, you need to change it's the clothes.
It's the clothes combined with the green that's really kicking you.
Yeah, because if you have to have that green, you just need to change the color palette of the clothes.
So that's how I would go about it. Is I would change things to be overall cooler. But yeah, so this is what I would generally shoot for, but we are burning time, so thank you for donating, Duel. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna clear it. And we're gonna move on to the next person.
Yeah.
Fire Envy. Oh, I'm not logged into Fur Affinity. I don't really like using Fur Affinity. I only have the login because I tried it out like a little while ago, but...
Spy doesn't like new things.
It's not that I don't like new things, it's the fact that there's been some controversy surrounding the site that made me kind of abandon it.
Oh, okay.
I generally don't like Fur Affinity either. I made an account, but I only used it once, I think.
It's very akin to DeviantArt, and it kind of went downhill. They also recently went under a change, and it's just like, yeah, it's not worth it.
I'd ask you if it was like, a Y gallery, but you don't know what Y gallery is, so.
I know, I'm a baby.
Boomer.
Zoomer.
Don't you call me a boomer, Missy.
No, I was calling
Jum.
I was calling Spring a boomer, okay?
I'm a millennial, okay?
My
Boomer.
God. Wait, who actually said that last one?
Millennial?
Oh my God, Spring, what the hell?
Ooh.
I
Okay,
don't know how I feel about this voice.
Spring can be terrifying at times.
You should listen to me playing tag Among Us. I'm terrifyingly cute.
Oh God.
I'd
I
rather
stab
know
you.
that.
She's like a yandere. But I'm gonna go ahead. Maple, you ready for me to start the timer?
Yes.
Okay, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Alright. First of all, this is a reminder that I have to keep watching Fairy Tail, so thank you. But like the otter, you don't see many otter characters, and you know what? I think it's pretty solid. Things that I would change would be the Fairy Tail emblem itself. I would change the color to be the same sort of light beige that's like on his belly and his tail. I'd change it to be that color as opposed to just a pure pitch black. And then I would also change like the color of the web, like these webbed fingers to be that same sort of shade of like beige. But other than that, again, solid 8 out of 10 character. So I'm just gonna pass it off to Yandere Spring.
I have such a long list of names. All right. So I like the ginger. I like me a good ginger. But the only the only thing I don't like about the character is that you have an adventure trail. That's a very big adventure trail.
Spring!
And it reminds me of the Fruits Basket episode with the cow. And anyone who's seen Fruits Basket knows exactly what I'm talking about. And that's a lot of hair right there. Just no. I take away, please. That's all I got.
I would say something, but I don't want to make Spring uncomfortable.
No, it's fine. Keep going. No. There's nothing wrong with the bush. I talked about this last time. There's nothing wrong with the bush. There's no. Anyways, nope. Go on. Nope.
All right, Christy.
Now, I know I'm like the horniest person on the show, but I keep staring at the butt, but not in a sexual way.
Thanks for coming out.
I don't know what it is, but my eye keeps moving towards like that diamond in the middle where its tail is supposed to be, and I've just been completely distracted by that more than anything. And I don't know why, because I'm not really...
We can just We can destroy the Death Star if you hit there.
Oh my god!
The fuck?
That's all I got.
What?
Never mind. It's fine. I'm half a brain
I'm
cell.
just like, I've been so distracted with that friggin' diamond where it's like tail would be that I just did not focus on this character at all.
Do you have something nice to say?
I like the I want to say it, but I can't because I know Spring would throw her hands up.
I got the kazoo.
I like the trail.
I'm so disappointed in all of you. You have no idea.
What, Spirit?
Okay. Anyway, so generally speaking, yeah, pretty solid character design. I can't think of a whole lot to really change, so I just kind of experimented with a little bit. I think what I would do is I would make the webbing on the toes and the hands and everything like that a little bit of a darker brown rather than the gray. And then I would change the symbol on the shoulder to be that same brown so that it doesn't... Because the black stands out a lot. So if you have it just be that slightly different color, it'll still be clear. But it won't be overwhelming. And then, honestly, I think in general it's a pretty solid design. I actually don't have too much issue with the distribution of color. I think I tried, I was just kind of experimenting. I wanted to see if the eyes would work better if they were brown, but I think the green actually works better because it contrasts the red, and it still draws the eye to the face. And in general, when it comes to a detail like that, since the orange and the red are kind of on the similar triad area, you don't have to worry about it too much because everything else is of the same tint, tone, and shade. So overall, I think it's a pretty solid character design. I don't have any issues with it. Personally speaking, at least from my perspective, having a detailed marking like that on a shoulder is generally a little bit difficult when you're having to draw it over and over again, but with some characters, they're wearing clothes, so you don't have to worry about it, so... And that's the timer. I'm sending all of the other hosts to horny jail.
Listen, I was just asking.
Let me out!
A question. I'm calling her out.
Thank you for donating, Todd.
Thank
Your
you.
donation number got cut off. Oh no. The Streamlabs thingy being mean. So we've got 3 more left, so if anyone who wants to send in submissions, now would be the time because we're going to, we'll be closing submissions in an hour. We might take a break once we get through these 3.
Teeny tiny break.
Jupe. Copy image. Zoom out.
Yay.
We're cheeking a little fluffy.
You fluffy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow, that's a fluffy sheep.
So I'm pulling up the timer. You ready, Maple?
As ready as I'll be.
Alright, let me just double check to see what our... Okay, we've been going for about an hour and 20 minutes, so after these 3 characters, we'll probably take a break. But, we'll go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1.
Alright. Well, first of all, this character is giving me, like, MLPG1 vibes. Because they had, like, this little bit where the toys, anyway, you had, like, these separate, like, little other animals. So I'm loving that. Really hella cute. One thing I would change is I'd maybe bring down the contrast on like the bipedal version on the hands there. I'd bring down the contrast a bit. And on the bell, I would maybe again bring down the contrast on the pink, or I would just make it more of a like a darker gold sort of color. I'm not sure if that hot pink is really working for me. But yeah, other than that, hella cute, hella fluffy, and it's I would get a plush of this. Spring?
Oh, what is this? A fluffy sheep.
I absolutely love the sheep. It is fluffy and cute and adorable. I think just reworking the fluff is really the only critique thing I have, and that's more of a drawing critique than anything, which I know you're working on your art and you're getting better every day, you sweet bean. So that's more of a drawing thing than anything, because Maple already said what I was going to say. So yeah, I love it. Christy.
Okay, so one of the things I kind of noticed about like the art in general, I know this is supposed to be a sheep. I don't know. I look at the hooves like on the bipedal side, or I don't know what the term is. I might be thinking wrong anyway. I feel like it's missing its cloven hooves, but that's more of an issue with the drawing itself because oh my goodness, I love the color palette. However, with the bell, I'm adding on from Maple's standpoint. I'd add like that pink from the sash into the cloud. And I feel like that would like make it a little bit more balanced because my eye goes straight into that hoof or not hoof. There are no hoofs. It's going straight into like that cloudy bell because it's the most saturated thing in like the entire picture.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit?
Yeah, so I'm experimenting a little bit here. This is a little bit of a hard one because I don't see a whole lot of issues. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit just to show you guys my general notes here. So I think the first things I do agree with the saturation on the hooves. I think they could use to be a little bit more. I think they could use to be a shade of this color. Well, wrong layer. This color, so that you can see they're a little bit of a darker shade of that rather than a whole different color. I'm not 100% sure. I think if you're going to have, you can either have pink or blue, but maybe not both. So I think if you're going to have a pink ribbon and a pink little bell thing, I do think drawing from the ribbon is definitely a better route to go. But I think if you're going to either go that way, I would either make that blue or make the eyes pink. But other than that, this is also just a little bit of an art thing, but standard rule of appeal generally means that if you're wanting to make a character that is more human and avoids the uncanny valley, you want to add eyebrows. Because eyebrows are a very key part in how characters are designed and how they express. So finding a way to really do those eyebrows, even if they're just a line, like if they're a line the same color as the outline, if I make this a little thinner, like that, just something for the essence of everything. And another thing too, this is just something that bothers me, but there's no shine in the eyes, which makes them kind of stare into your soul. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I more just mean that specular is something that is used to add appeal, especially to cute characters. So you can see it in cases like My Little Pony, and there's other characters on here. The only time where a blank eye would work is if it's a simple eye. So if I like come in here, I color pick this color, and I kind of make that a little bigger. This is just being very rough here. Turn off the timer. So that if you're gonna do simple eyes, you can forego the shine. But you can't do it with colored eyes or detailed eyes. So that's my perspective. I think it's a really solid design otherwise, so these are just my perspective. So gonna go ahead and clear the canvas now.
Thank you for donating.
Thank you for donating.
Okay, boop, boop. And on to the next one, we have Sunshine Skittles.
Sunshine
That's a
Skittles,
fun
that's
name.
a wonderful name.
Mm-hmm.
Copy image.
Is that the name of the character or like the person who donated?
That's the name that I saw on the donation. And it looks like it's the name of the character, so
Ooh.
go ahead. I'm gonna drop
This
in
is
the-
not what I expected it to look like.
So I'm gonna go
I
ahead.
expected it to be yellow. My expectations have been destroyed.
I dropped it in the chat. Pulling up the timer now. Maple, you ready?
Sure.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Well, this character brings me back to when I watched an animator called Splash Kitty Artist. So that was a nice flashback for me. It's a cute character. I kind of see where you're going with her wolf kind of thing going on. Now others will probably be able to do a better job of saying how to fix these. But I'm not sure if I am a fan, like on her feral form, I'm not sure if the scratches really work in the same way as they do in her anthro form. And I feel like they should curve more to her rear. It feels like there's just a conflict in flow. And then I'm seeing she has glasses. I'm not really sure. I'm assuming this is a Sona, so I like if you have glasses, you want her to have glasses, so I get that. So I'm not sure how exactly I fix that. And then the earrings as well. They're kind of putting me off, but again, just out of not really having much time to really figure out how to fix it. I can't really say, so maybe somebody else will be able to figure it out and piece it better than I can. But other than that, cute, and yeah, spring.
All right. I was not expecting this when I heard the name Sunshine Skittles. All right, that's the name does not relate to the color palette, which is fine. I like the color palette you have going on here. Yeah, the cake is a lie. The thing I would adjust is your chest floof, okay? I would take it all the way down to cover the chest. Because it looks like it kind of looks like a scarf, but I would just cover. Just bring it down. Just like I know like lady, but just it just doesn't seem to me at least it doesn't. Just bring it down. That would be what I would suggest. Christy?
I think one of the main things for me personally, while I do like the design pretty well, I'm not sure how I feel about like all of the colors that are like being put into this. Like the black is totally understandable, like that blackish gray color. I'm just not sure how it works well against like the blue, the purple, the orangish gold in the earrings, and then you got the or I forget if I said purple, yellow, or what, but there are at least 4 colors, and I'm not sure if it's completely working. I'd probably take one of them out at least, or maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
The earrings, maybe don't put it on the model. That's all I got. Spirit?
I'm having a little bit of a hard time working this out as well, so forgive me if I'm fiddling a lot with the character design. I'm also in agreement with the rest of the crew. I think the color palette, especially in context of the naming of the character, aren't fitting. So Sunshine Skittles feels more something like very bright pastel rainbowy, like warm colors, yellows, pinks.
Lightning bliss.
Basically lightning bliss is the first thing that comes to mind. But I think my route, and I fiddled a little bit with it. I would have gone a little bit more with, like, first off, you gotta choose your color tribe. So if the dark gray is going to be your base color, you're gonna have to either choose to have gold, blue, white or purple. You can't have that many, at least in this case. And one of the issues that I'm seeing, I think if it were me, the purple is too dark and difficult to see. So especially when it comes to the spots on the face and the cuts on the sides or whatever they are, I don't know if they're stripes, you're going to want to go with something that stands out on its own, especially if you're doing a lineless style, because generally speaking, markings like this, even if they're scars, generally won't always be rendered with contour lines, which is the outer lines that you see that define the character. So ultimately, just, I can't say I have a solution, more just my thought process. Yeah. But thank you for donating. I think we'll do one more before we take a, maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
And just a reminder to the stream, you have to donate $5 or more for us to do your OC review.
And we only have until 5 p.m., so we'll have to cut off any new submissions by 4:30, so if you want to get yours in, now's the time.
Nope.
So we'll go ahead, I'll pull up the dashboard. Okay, so we're talking about a centaur character here. So, fair warning, this is going to be a little bit of a difficult one to work with because it's a full piece, guys.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
It's very small. What resolution is this at? Let me look
It's
at
a
the
miniature.
properties.
It should be easy, like copy paste into the chat at least.
I can't copy paste it because I have to download it from the drive before I can bring it in. So I have to actually download it onto my computer and upload it rather than copy it. Okay. So we are focusing in on the centaur, so I'm actually going to scale you up a little bit so that you are the focal point of this.
I want to talk about the goblin.
We're not talking about the goblin. Goblins are great, but now is not the time.
Talk about Bat Goblin.
Okay, so
Spring, you can talk about the goblin's butt if you want, but
we are not talking about the
I
goblin's
wanted to
butt.
talk about his ears. Anyways,
That's for later. We're not talking about butts on stream.
I'm not talking about butts. You are
Except for that one time.
Christy started it.
at band camp.
Okay,
What?
moving on. Okay, I'm pulling up the timer. Maple, are you ready?
Sure.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1.
All right. So Spirit wasn't kidding when she said this was going to be difficult because this is a general art piece and doesn't really give us, or me anyway, like an actual clear view on what is going on with the character. I guess the one piece I have to say about centaur characters is that there has to be cohesion with like the horse part along with the human part. So with that said, I feel like it's working well enough. And this is more of a personal choice when it comes to centaurs, but I wouldn't put the ears on top. I'd have them more just kind of elongated where like regular human ears are, but that's like a completely just like personal taste sort of thing. And the other thing I would really change is like the hair. It's throwing me off. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, and again, I think that's just because I'm looking at a general art piece, not so much of an art reference. So this was a bit difficult. Cute, just a little difficult to critique.
All right. So something nice. Looking at this art piece, my eyes instantly go to the little dots in the eyeballs. So, bravo. However, I know it's brown eyes, but it's very hard to see that. So I would adjust that. I'm just gonna talk about eyeballs, like eyeball color. Like this whole stream is gonna be spring hardened eyeball color. Yeah, I would maybe adjust that a little bit because it's almost the same color as like the hair and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I have the same bias as like maybe put the ears where human ears are. I like that. That's fun. But Animechristy.
Okay, so this is more a crit on the art itself. It awfully feels very disproportionate because I know we're working from an image with a very skewed and different perspective to it, but it feels disproportionate, like there's more of a human body than the horses, because horses I've seen in real life, they're really, really big normally. I feel like we need a bigger horse butt. But aside from that, I think it works overall. Like, you know, you got that muted light blue to contrast against like the orangish chestnut color of the horse's body. And yeah, I actually kind of like the ears being like horse ears on the human. And the hair does not work for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think the thing about the horse, but I think that just might just be like the perspective,
It's
or
definitely perspective like messing with me. It doesn't feel right, but I'm just gonna let Spirit move on so she can give us her TED Talk.
I don't actually have that much of a TED Talk right now. My thought process is that if you're gonna have the horse ears on the top, you need to make the rest. You need to distribute the horse features a little bit more evenly. This is just experimenting, and I'm not entirely keen on having this stuff down here. So I think I'd probably actually cut that. But what I'm thinking is, I'm thinking if you're going to have the horse ears on top and making them more animalistic, then you need to balance that with a little bit more of an animalistic route. So add more of the fur color throughout the body. And so that can be like putting it on like the arms and the shoulders. I tend to do that. Like for me, when I do my centaurs, I actually they have a little bit of fur on their back that leads up from their horse section all the way up to their neck, and put it a little bit on the face. I think the eyes are actually fine. I can't make much sense of the hair. I think that's mostly just a rendering thing. And this is maybe just me, but the longbow is very big. That's a very big longbow because I am someone who actually owns I'm someone who owns a recurve longbow. So
is it a small centaur? Is that our issue? Is this a small centaur?
It could be a young centaur.
It could be like a pony centaur, or it could just be the perspective of the drawing itself that's kind of skewing how we see the character.
Yeah. Oh, so yes, he's very small. We've been in the chat.
Oh, okay.
That is the timer, so I think that's just generally our perspective. There isn't a whole lot to talk about. I think we focused a lot more on the art perspective stuff than we did.
Sorry.
We're not supposed to be focusing on the art quality. We're supposed to be focusing on the...
If I can say something, if the character is supposed to be smaller, so if he's supposed to be smaller, more pony-like, I guess. Ponies, I think, are a bit more chunkier.
And they have shorter legs.
For their size, so I'd maybe just make him a little bit, like, instead of being more narrow, like, unless he just happens to be, like, more, like, just so, like, on the younger side where he is just more thinner in that aspect, but if he is, like, more adult, I would say just kind of make him a little more chunky, if that's kind of if that's what you're going for there.
Yeah, because small, like if you're going off after a pony breed, ponies are a little bit stockier with shorter legs because they're built for pulling stuff. If you're going for a more hot blood horse, then you want the longer legs and more slender body, but the body should be more proportionate. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna do one more before we take a 10-minute break, and then we'll start back up at the hour. But after that, there's only going to be 30 minutes left for submissions. So if people want to get stuff in, now would be the time. So Maple, are you ready?
Sure.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1.
First of all, cute. really cute. Oh my god. One thing that's kind of throwing me off is what I assume is the horn. And I'm not sure why there's an S there. I'm not like maybe it's just like the type of dragon and horn style that I don't like I'm not aware of, but I'm not really digging it and it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm like I guess that might just because I'm coming from a more traditional horn kind of aspect, but like no, I why is there an S on the horn? um but yeah, other than that, cute as hell. And I just want to give a good old like just a blanket and just put it next to a warm fire as it warms up, and after anyway, spring.
I pour water into your little mug of love. It is so cool, a little dragon. I want to take them home and love them, and give them cookies and milk, and then take them home after babysitting them. They're adorable. This character, I said something nice, so I have to. I think so. I'm noticing there's like white on the paws or the feet. I maybe just for you add that to the claws of the hands to if you're gonna have different color, I guess. And the hair color, I guess. But yeah, I love this little bean, Christy.
Heart can't take the little bean. It's so cute. Although the one thing that I don't know if I've ever seen a dragon like have like those little they look like paw pads on the wings. Like the little circles that's like I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I've done
No,
that.
no. Like you see it too, right? Like the pink little circles like on the wingspan.
Yeah,
Spirit
beans.
does that.
It's what now?
They have beans.
Never seen that before. I honestly don't know how I feel about it. It's very unique. I think it's cute, but I've never seen it before.
Have you not
I'm
enhanced
still just trying to wrap my head around it. I'm also in agreement with Maple regarding the horns. I feel like there's a little tip that needs like some kind of coloring, like maybe that dark blue or even the white. And as for the S, my main theory is that it's a secret signature, like how Homer Simpson has like the matte graining secret signature on his head. Anyways, that's my TED talk. Spirit.
So, I don't have a whole lot else to mention either because I think it's pretty solid. By the way, Christy, I'm throwing my example of my dragons that that have beans on their wings because beans, but
so many beans.
So, I think the only things that I would really point out is that one, this is a really solid character design. And two, I think, so there were certain sections that were, like, there was a, point here that was, the light turquoise. I think what I would do is I made that, the tip of that, blue. I actually changed these claws to be navy as well, and I put them on here, on the front paws, and that's more of just a distribution thing. And the other thing, too, I really dig the pink. I think it would just... This is less of a you need to do this, but more of just something that I think would look cute. But if you put them on the ears, it'll help draw the eye to the face a little bit more and distribute the pink more. Mm-hmm. And it'll make them feel a little bit softer. I also want to really... I know this is weird, but I want to high-five this character. And hug them because they look very soft. And precious.
I want to smother it with love, and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
Basically, precious.
Yes.
But I think what we'll go ahead and do, so that's the timer. And I think what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to take a 10-minute break, where if you guys want to get submissions in Spring, I think it might be good if you send out another ping to remind people that we're still going.
Yep.
And we're going to go ahead, so really quickly, for the sake of the recording, since this is going to be broken down into 2 episodes, we will be continuing in part 2, so feel free to check out that episode next time. And thank you to everyone who donated. We'll see you back at 4 p.m.
Hey.
Woo!
Sweet.